Hi, and welcome to How to Draw Blitz Cartoons. I'm Bruce Blitz, and together you and I are going to explore the fantastic, fun world of drawing cartoons. Now in this course we're going to deal with the basics of drawing cartoons. We'll take it step by step, and soon you'll be creating your own little cartoon characters in your own cartoon world. Where, by the way, you're the boss. You decide everything. You design the character, set up the situation or gag, select the supporting cast of characters, pick the props, camera angle, location, everything. All you need is a pencil, some paper, and a little imagination. So sit back and relax, and just let your mind go, because anything is possible in cartoons. And what is a cartoon? A cartoon, by definition, is a funny drawing expressing a funny idea. I'll show you what I mean. We have here a funny drawing, and it could stand by itself, but if we add just one more element to this drawing, we can make it expressing a funny idea. Let's do it. Put some eyes here. Mouth. I think you're ahead of me. You might already know what I have in mind. Tongue. Now, it could even stand by itself now, but let's add one more thing to it. A caption. Let's throw some quick color into it. Some red for the tongue. And there you have it. Next, let's talk a little bit about what you're going to need in the way of art supplies to get started. I've got some good news for you because it's not going to cost you much. All you'll need to get started is a pencil, some paper, and an eraser. First, the pencil. I like the pencils with the softer leads best. However, a good old number 2 school pencil will work fine. Now, as for paper, you're going to use a lot while learning, so buy the most inexpensive paper you can, like a ream of bond paper or a pad of newsprint. Now, any eraser will do, although I prefer what is called a kneaded rubber eraser because it can be shaped to get into those hard-to-reach places, and best of all, it doesn't leave crumbs. Okay, once you've laid out your cartoon in pencil, you might want to go over it with a black felt-tip marker to bring out the cartoon lines, make them more defined. Now, the selection is vast, so I suggest you go to the art store and experiment as to which one you like best. Now, I'm going to be working rather large here today, so I'm using a pretty thick point. Now, you ready? All right, let's get started. First, let's take a look at some cartoon heads. To actually begin drawing a cartoon head, we're going to start with a shape. Now, I want you to notice how I make this shape. By loosely moving my hand around before I even touch down, getting the feel, and then lowering it to the paper. And then I have a loosely drawn shape. You don't want to start drawing like this, doing one of these, because it's going to get real contrived looking, and that's not what you want. Okay, now we're going to loosely sketch in some guidelines. Now, using these guidelines, we're going to put in the features. First, the eyes, which is nothing more than a curve, and two little dots. Some eyebrows. Now the nose, which I like to put underneath the eyes. Then the mouth. I'm going to make that a wavy line, make it funny, with the tongue coming out. Two ears, one on each side. And we're going to go over the chin with a little blacker of a line there. So now the hair. Now again, be loose because you want to get that spontaneous look to your work by making these little squiggly lines. Get your whole wrist into it. Boom. Like that. A little neck. And that's basically it. That's all there is to it. How did yours come out, okay? All right, let's do it again. Well, this time we're going to make it a little bit different. First, we're going to start with that shape. Now when we put the guidelines in, we're going to think of that shape as an egg, a three-dimensional object. So when we put the lines in, and we're going to put them a little bit to the left, we would have to be curving that line like this because it has roundness. Imagine an egg or a balloon. Now the other line, same thing. Now using these lines again as guidelines, let's put in the features. First the eyes, some eyebrows, a nose, the mouth. Now this time we only see one ear, because if his head is turned, his other ear wouldn't be visible. Let's define the chin again. Some squiggly hair. And there you have it. That's all there is to it. Let's put a neck on him, maybe a bow tie. Okay. If we would have done two shapes like this and put those lines up top like this, and this one down here like that, we could have made him looking up. His nose, we're down. That's how you draw cartoon heads facing different ways. Think of it as a balloon or an egg. Put your lines in, and go back over it and put your features in. Now we've shown you how to draw the same character facing in different directions. But to change that character, we go to our next lesson, which is features and expressions. In order to vary the cartoon head, we have to vary the shape that we start with, change the guidelines, and the features. Now let's do one here. Let's make this one a long, thin one, like that. Let's make a short, squat one over here. Okay, now let's go put the guidelines in. First the vertical one. This time we're looking straight at the character. Now let's put this guideline in towards the top of the head. This time let's put it down in the lower half. Okay, let's go back over it now using this as guidelines and put the eyes in. This time instead of making two circles, let's make two lines, making one a little bit different. By varying them, it makes it a little funnier. Okay, let's put a nose in, a long, thin nose this time. And let's put the mouth down here instead of so close to the nose. Like, let's make a little squiggly line like that. Little ears. And for the hair, let's make them bald except for a little bit on the side. A couple little funny hairs up top. And let's blacken the chin, line a little bit. There, we've got one character there. Now let's do a little short, fat guy over here. Okay, we've got a funny little stubby nose. Mouth. Let's put glasses on him. One eye up here, one eye down there. The glasses resting on the ears. This time let's give him wavy hair. Some eyebrows. Chin line. And then neck. Let's put some eyebrows on this fellow too. Okay. And you see, by varying the shapes that we started with, the guidelines, and drawing the features in differently, we've come up with two different characters. Did you ever wonder how, with all the millions of people there are in this world, how we can all look different? I mean, we all have the same features. We all have eyes, nose, mouth, and ears, yet we all look different. Well, the answer is it's because the size and relationship to each other that make us all look different. It's the same with cartoon heads. Now, a good way to practice cartoon heads would be to get your piece of paper and draw about 25 circles on them, different shapes, throw the guidelines in differently, and try to make all 25 heads look different. That would be a good exercise. Now, let's do it again. Let's this time start with a squiggly shape instead of an oval or a circle. There's one. Now let's do like a triangular shape. Okay. Let's put the nose down here this time, and let's make it a little small nose like that. And let's put a mouth. Let's put a mustache on him this time. A mouth, a smiling mouth with teeth. Let's put some eyes in. Let's see. Some pretty large eyes. Looking off to the right. Some eyebrows. Some ears. Now for the hair, let's a little hair coming out underneath the ear. Blacking that line in. And the neck. Over here, let's make a girl's face. Let's put a small nose in. Put the lines of eyes over there. Let's have her eyelids closed with a heavy line there like she's wearing mascara, some eyelashes, thin eyebrows. Now, if you notice here, I drew the eyes and I left a little bit of white space in each eye, sort of giving the impression that there's the shine, the highlight. Now let's give her a smile. Let's put some lipstick on her. Round cheeks. Let's go over the chin line. Now for the hair, let's give her a big bushy head of hair. Give her a neck. Let's give her some beads. Earrings. And there you have it. Now for some expressions. And this is what will breathe life into your drawings. This is what makes your cartoons appear to think. Now we're going to start with anger. Remember, start with a shape. Let's put a nose there. Now, if someone's angry, what happens to their face? Their mouth would be in a frown, and the teeth would be showing. The lip would be out. So let's make the teeth in, clenched. And here's your ear, and the eyes, as before. But now watch what just the eyebrows facing down like that does. And let's give them some hair. Now I'm going to introduce here what I call cartoon accessories and effects. Let's blacken his chin in. Now what we do here is to make him look angry. That's angry. But now watch. If we just put a little sweat coming out of him, look how much more angry he appears. Even some of these lines make it look like he's steaming mad. That is anger. Okay, let's do another one. Let's have this time the fella hilarious. Let's start with a shape. This time let's do a triangular shape. Okay. Now if someone's hilarious, have the nose like that first, and the mouth would be in a big smiling shape like that. Real big smile like that. Teeth definitely showing. Tongue way out. Now this would all be painted black because it's inside the mouth and it would be dark. Let's clean up this line around the tongue. And the eyes would be squinted. Eyebrows down. little ears, little squiggly hairlines. And again, for some cartoon accessories and effects, I think the sweat would go again. Maybe his head would be shaking from laughing so hard, so let's put some of these lines in. And there you have it. A good way to practice expressions would be to sit in front of a mirror. Just look at your face, make these expressions, and then transfer your expressions onto the paper into cartoon-style lines. Okay, let's do a different expression now. How about suspicion? Now, I do want to say to you here that when you come up with expressions that you know you have to draw, think it through. What might happen to someone's face when they're suspicious? Like, let's start with our shape. Let's give them a nose. Let's give them facing this way. When someone's suspicious, they might be peeking out the side of their eyes, like eyebrows. One be down, sort of pondering, and the other one up. The mouth like this, not so sure, so he's sort of not happy about it. One ear over here, one ear over here. Let's give him a crew cut. Some dots for some stubbly hair. Now for some cartoon effects. If he was suspicious of somebody, he might have real quickly turned his head. And by doing that, we sort of get that impression. And if he's looking at something over here, we can indicate that by little dotted lines, like he turned and looked. And that would be suspicion. Let's do another one. Let's have someone crying hysterically. Okay, circle. Here's a nose. The mouth is in a frowning thing, and as before, the lip is out, and the teeth are showing. Tongue. Guess it'll be blackened in because it's the inside of the mouth. Now, I want to say here that you're going to find that when you're drawing expressions, a lot of times you're going to find them overlapping. Like the mouth might be the same in crying and anger, but it might be one little subtlety like the eyes or the cartoon effects and accessories that we spoke about that will change the whole thing. So let's put some ears up here, one there, and his eyes will be closed, and his eyebrows, instead of down, making him angry, he's crying, so his eyebrows will be up, sort of in a pitiful type way. Now, for the cartoon accessories, let's blacken in the chin first, and the side of his face. Give him some hair. Okay, some sweat and some tears. How about a word like this to make it all work? So you can do things in cartoons that you can't do in other forms of art. Like adding that you could never do in an oil painting. Okay, let's do a different one. How about stunned? How would a stunned person look? Okay, let's start with a shape. Let's put a nose in. Let's put a nose like that with one nostril in. Now for the eyes, let's do something new. How about just a swirled, like no pupils or anything? Eyebrows one up here, up there. Mouth, nothing more than a little line like that. Ears. Let's blacken this. Now, let's have his hair staying straight and up. Straight up in the air like that. Okay, now for some effects. You can get a lot of mileage out of these sweat drawings. Okay, now some lines like this indicate that maybe he heard a loud noise or was hit over the head with a brick or something like that. But then we have stunned. Let's do fright. That's a great one to do. Okay, let's start with our shape, like that. Let's give him the nose over there. This will be a side view. Again, the mouth will be in the opposite of a smile. A lot of teeth showing on this one. Even the bottom teeth will be out on this one. and the tongue right in there. Let's blacken that in, because that's inside. Teeth, bottom teeth, top teeth. Okay, now let's put the ear in. Now, what's going to make this whole expression work are the eyes. You don't want to have them closed. You don't want to have them half closed. You want to have them wide open. So let's draw circles. One circle. And then the other circle, which will be a little bit behind that eye, you only see part of that circle. So like that. Now, for the pupils, to make this fright really work, to make it as funny as possible, you make a small, small dot. Eyebrows way up. Hair definitely standing straight up. Again, some sweat. And some vibrations to the eyeballs. Boom. Some more sweat. Oh, that guy, he's scared. Okay. Try a few. Look in the mirror. Come up with some expressions. And make sure you observe people wherever you go, because this too can sharpen your skills. Okay, now for some more cartoon effects and accessories. We have a lady here looking into a mirror. Now, to make that look more like a mirror, a glass mirror, all we do is make a couple diagonal lines together. Now watch. Right over the drawing. Don't worry about it. Two together. Maybe one more over there. That sort of adds a reflection. So she's looking into a mirror. Now, that's one way to make glass. You can do the same thing with a puddle. If you had a shape drawn and you added a couple lines, it would sort of give the reflection effect. Okay, let's move down to this one. We've got here a fella here who could just have been hit by a brick. Now, how would we indicate that? To show motion, we're going to have the brick coming in from here, like that. Again, be loose. Now, at point of impact, let's put a sound effect. How about bunk, my favorite. And let's put a little splash like that, so it looks like he just got hit in the head. Now the brick's going to continue on this way. Let's draw the brick now, which is nothing more than a rectangle. Now, that's the brick. Let's take a little red pencil and make that look more like a brick. And there you have it. Now, if you wanted to go over that with a little color, you can just sort of take the same lines and add to it, and maybe even take a marker and do this to really look like it hit him in the head. Okay, just get in the habit of always sketching. Now, when you're drawing, say, in your living room, and you need things like props because you want to add these to some of your pictures, all you do when you draw props is just to reduce it down to its basic elements. Like, let's draw something you see every day, like a computer. Now, this could do for the screen. Let's put a little thickness in it. That's all you would need for the screen. Now for the keyboard, it's like a rectangle. For the keys, you can just suggest a few circles or squares, whatever you want. And that would take it. And a little squiggly line for the wire connecting it. That could be a computer. Let's do something else you see every day. How about a coffee pot? So that could be, let's make it crooked. And let's put the spout right there. And the base. You don't want to start with too much detail. Here's a handle. Let's have the lid flying off. Maybe some steam coming out. Even some coffee dripping out, make that black. Lines looking like it's coming off. How about the cord, if it's an electric percolator? And that could be the way you would draw that. Now, how about a chair, an easy chair? Make it real soft looking. Pillow.
The other arm. Buttons. That would do fine for a chair and for a lamp next to it. All you have to do is look around your own house. There's plenty of things to practice on. Let's put some fringe on the lampshade. Okay, now do you remember before when I said to you that anything's possible in the world of cartooning? Well, let's go back and have some fun. Let's take these objects that we've already drawn and put some life into them. Put eyes, nose, mouth, right into that chair. Make them come alive. Same thing with the lamp. Let's make the lamp a girl. Nose, lipstick. See, you can even do that. Let's have them in love. Inanimate objects coming to life. Let's go back and do the coffee pot. Okay, let's look on the object and see what might be used for the nose. It's already there, like his spout. Put some eyes around that. Let's have him wincing. Let's put his eyes squinting like that. How about have his mouth like that, like it's so hot he can't stand it. See, we've added life. Let's do the computer. Same thing, we just do the same features. Let's have him looking smart and smug. Let's have him thinking of something smart. E equals mc squared. Thinking. Now, a cartoon like this could easily be used for an advertisement for a computer store. Well, that's about it for the basics of drawing cartoons. I hope you've enjoyed it. We've covered a lot of ground. The rest, well, that's up to you. But the more you practice, the more you'll develop your own style and technique for drawing cartoons. And when you practice, make sure you practice everything, and not just what comes easiest to you. For example, if you have trouble drawing, say, cartoon hands or action drawings, focus in and work on that. Remember this, if you even have a little talent and you practice hard, you'll do much better than a lazy person with tons of talent. I'm Bruce Blitz saying, keep on cartooning.